Yes, and you're back on Lucky Dip with Harry and Amy on Tribe FM 91.1. And you know what? It's really special today because we have an interview all the way from New York City. It's Pearl and the Beard, everyone.
Yes, it is.
Hello!
How are you going?
Oh, it's so good. It's actually snowing here.
Wow.
It's the middle of summer here.
It's the middle of summer here.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's
we had 45 degrees last week. It was very.
Well, that's about what it is here, but it's in Fahrenheit here.
Oh, yeah.
In Celsius, it's really hot.
-9 degrees Celsius here.
It's very cold.
Oh, wow. Well, now, how did Pearl and the Beard form? Because most bands, you know, they get connected in a way. I know we had a band here last week who met all at church. How did Pearl and the Beard form?
We met at different open mic nights in New York. So yeah, we just happened to meet each other by chance and then started playing together, and that's that. That was 5 years ago. So
wow 5 years.
Hey, baby.
Wow. Well, I discovered you mid last year on YouTube, and your music is infectious. I know that everyone I show it to, show your videos to, and they just fall in love with you. It's incredible. It's, you know,
thank you.
It's really amazing what connection you have with the listeners of your music. So
that's so sweet.
We did a bit of.
We're very, very glad they're listening to us.
We did a bit of singing and dancing around at school one day, and Harry put on Douglas Douglas. And I've never seen someone get so into a song. He was just rocking the stage and clapping his hands. It was great.
Yeah. Now, do you guys live close? Do you guys live close to each other? Do you? Because I know you're in New York, but do you live close? Do you catch up on the weekend?
Yeah. Jocelyn, this is Emily. Jocelyn and I actually used to live across the hall from one another, and then Jocelyn moved up north in New York State, but we hang out a lot, and we are lucky enough to be very, very close best friends.
Yes. And Jeremy only lives about a mile away from Emily now.
Oh.
So, like about a kilometer. I don't know. How far is that?
Yeah.
A mile.
Not too far.
1.6 kilometers.
1.6, sorry.
Yeah. And we just played Reverend. What's the meaning behind the song Reverend?
How did that get that name, Jeremy?
Oh, man.
I think it was one of those random ones.
Well, for the longest time, because, you know, a lot of times, like, when we do shows and when we have new songs and we haven't come up with a new title, we'll just give it some sort of descriptor, some sort of random arbitrary name or something that is very obvious about it. And for some reason, I don't know why we had that one sounded kind of like ho-downy, slight gospel-y. So we called it Reverend Pants for the long time.
Do reverends wear pants?
Decided to take off. We decided to take off those Reverend's pants and just go with the Reverend.
Well, what genre do you classify yourself as? Because I know a lot of interviews that you have, you get asked that question and you kind of go, well, we don't really know. We kind of go to the listeners and what they think of us. What would you classify yourself as?
Well, I don't really know. I would go to the listeners and say, what...
Okay, well, I'm a listener and I'm going to go with it's Harry's dance session.
My dance set. It's my music. Just that can be the genre. Harry's music.
Harry dance music. That's it. I think iTunes has a category for that.
Yeah.
I actually call them it.
Oh, okay.
We'll make a Harry documentary and we'll just back it all with Pearl and the Beard
Pearl and the Beard music. Yeah.
And I'll send you the video.
Full stop. Just all the way from beginning to end.
Contact our lawyer about that.
All right. Well, we're going to go to a song, one of your songs. It's called "Prodigal Daughter." Is that
Yes.
Yeah, and what's the meaning behind that song?
Oh, well, that one is kind of this is Jocelyn here. That one was kind of about my dad and my sister, because they're very similar people. But it's actually funny that you're mentioning that one, because the music video for that song was actually filmed in Australia.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so we had to ship the 3-person was on the cover album, Killing the Darlings. We actually had to ship it down so they could use it in the video, and it took, I think, like a month to get it there. It took forever, but the video came out awesome, so it was really worth it.
Okay, well, we'll come back to you after Prodigal Daughter.
Thanks, Harry and Amy.
Oh, lovely daughter, I've mistaken for a son. Rest your head upon my shoulder at once. Tell me all the world you found troublesome. You my particles and sweet electrons. Since you've been home, since you've been home, see what you have become. Oh, hungry father, unto you I leave this talisman, unresolved though not unbroken. Since I've been home, since I've been home, God, what have I become? Spit on my thumb, that I may wipe that filthy grit from your tongue. Bless your enemies and my grandsons, and you my particles and sweet electrons.
And we're back on Lucky Dip with Harry and Amy on Tribe FM 91.1. And we just had a chat to Pearl and the Beard, and they're still online. How are you going, guys?
Good, how are you?
Still there. Cool. Now, you mentioned before when we're talking about Prodigal Daughter that you shipped the 3-person sweater to Australia to film that film clip for it. Now, Jocelyn, you actually made it. How long did it take you to make that 3-person sweater?
I did make it. It took 5 days, but I have a knitting machine, so I didn't do it by hand. I have a big knitting machine. I actually have a background in fine textiles, so... yeah, just 5 days. It wasn't too bad, but I was up the night before the photo shoot.
Oh, yeah.
Completely all night, so I look a little tired in those photos. That's okay.
And what music inspires you to create the music? Who's your idols in the music industry?
Well, this is Emily. We are huge fans of our local friends who play music around here. Of that list, there is You Won't, an incredible duo. Lucius was the 5-piece with 2 women heading that band. They're amazing. Both those bands are amazing. Anna Vogelzang is amazing. We're always inspired by our friends who we tour with, who we talk with, who we have fun with.
David Wax Museum.
They're fantastic.
Anthony DaCosta is great.
Franz Nikolai, he's fantastic. He used to be with the Hold Steady. He produced our last album, but his solo work is amazing.
We love our friends in Holy Ghost Tent Revival.
Yes.
So you're real local people, and they're all from Brooklyn. Is it Brooklyn? Is that where you're?
They're from all over the country, but because we're kind of always, all of those people are really always touring.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily matter where your home base is because you end up seeing them anyway.
And we often collaborate them with like Lady Lamb, the beekeeper, who's originally from Portland, Maine, now living in Brooklyn. We collaborated with her, and we are truly inspired by their writing and their musicianship. And so we've actually written songs based on our relationships with them and those people. So I would say those are our strongest influences.
Yeah. Was music a big deal in your house when you were growing up? Because I know in our house, my house at home, we've got, you know, guitar, piano, and there's always music playing in our house. Was it a big deal in your house?
Oh yeah, I think for all of us in different ways. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I grew up. Oh, go for it.
Oh well, Emily, you play the cello. Did you first start in, you know, an orchestra? Is that where you started playing the cello?
I did. I started playing when I was 8, and so I'm here to how that relates in Australia grades. But I started when I was 8, and I went to school. I got my master's degree in cello performance. I got a bachelor's in cello performance, and I played in orchestras and chamber music, and I did all the solo repertoire you're supposed to do as a student, and then I did a post-grad degree in New York, which is when I met these guys, and I love orchestral music, but it didn't speak to me as much as writing music in school. And, you know, I've always had a soft spot for scoring film, and so that's kind of where my influences have always been, and I hope that some of that shows up in some of the stuff that we do as we collaborate as a band. And so
wow, yeah. And you've got a music video that you released a couple of months ago, was it? And that was for 40K. Now it's an interesting one. It's are they zombies?
Yeah, there's some sort of like evil creature. We kind of wanted to do a little something different where we kind of took it from the perspective of the zombie or the undead fiending creature. Just because usually it's always the antagonistic thing, and we're just kind of now on the run. But yeah, we kind of tried to have a bit of mystery, but then, you know, slowly reveal that something more sinister is happening.
Well, it is a very good film clip. So all our listeners out there, get onto YouTube and check out Pearl and the Beard with 40K, because it's a really good film clip to watch. And the new album, you are writing and recording a new album at the moment. When will that be released?
It will be released in the fall.
In the fall. So is that
we're
autumn?
Very excited.
Autumn for us?
Yeah,
yes.
autumn.
Yeah, it's also called that.
Or I guess it would be spring, technically, for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
let's say August or September.
September, yeah, months makes more sense.
Yeah, well, I saw a posting on your Facebook page about a song that you, Jocelyn, wrote for a comic strip writer. Could you tell us a bit about that?
Thank you for noticing that. Thank you for posting it. I'm like, well, this illustrator, his name is James Kochelka, and he is really a huge inspiration to me. He has, for the past 14 or 15 years, I think, he did a daily diary comic strip that you can see it at AmericanElf.com. But he is a musician. I mean, he has tons of albums out. He writes books. He has a new YouTube cartoon series called Super Effers. You can imagine there's like a bit of a curse word in there, but it's Effers. You can look that up. But yeah, he's just really inspiring to me. And so I had written that song for him a while ago, and then we actually have a mutual friend, so he put us in touch. And so he's based out of Burlington, Vermont, and when we were playing in Vermont, I called him up and I was like, hey, do you want to come to the show? And he said, yeah. So we kind of have been corresponding a little bit. It was great to get a chance to correspond with one of my heroes. And so he's just super nice and really appreciative. So I sent him the song finally, because he just retired the comic strip, and he posted it, and it got a little local buzz for my band, Dream Team Laserbeam, that I'm in with my husband, Jim.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Awesome. That's really awesome. So, I mean, through Skype, we can obviously hear you're American because you've got awesome accents. So, I have to ask this question. Do we have accents to you?
Yeah, they're amazing. They are. I think the accent is instantly hotter.
Oh, cool. I'll remember that.
True.
I'll send you a picture of Harry.
Yeah.
All right. Well, are there any plans on coming to Australia? Because we would love to have you.
We would love it.
We'd love to. Yeah, we would definitely love to. We'll see what the future holds.
And we will be your tour guides.
We'll be your tour guides. We'll take you all around the country.
Nice.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jocelyn, Emily, and Jeremy, for chatting to us from Pearl and the Beard. And you're in New York at the moment?
Yes, Brooklyn,
In
New
the
York.
snow.
In the snow. Cold.
We were in the snow in Brooklyn yesterday to you.
Yes.
We're in the yesterday. We're
25th.
in your yesterday. Crazy.
Well, thank you very much. We're going to have a listen to Swimming. And before we go, what's the meaning behind that song? Because it's kind of a bit... It's kind of got a happy melody, but is there a meaning behind it?
Well, of course, every listener should take their own meaning from it, which is the beauty of music. But I wrote the lyrics when I was really, really depressed and watching too many documentaries about how the world is really messed up. But we should all take the opportunities to make the fortunate parts of our lives as good as we can, in place of those who are less fortunate. And not that every cloud has a silver lining, but that, yes, the world is really terrible sometimes, and so it's up to you to do your part to put good in the world, not just see the good, but put the good there. So that's what it's about for me.
Some great words of wisdom right there. Thank you very much, guys. And we'll keep in touch, and when you come to Australia, we'll show you around. Thank you very much. See ya.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Australia Day.
You know they always say that things will get better if you believe in love, believe in hope, believe in the way that you feel. But my troubles aren't real. They're real enough in as much as, yes, they are happening, but their burden bears upon the soul, their weightlessness boring a hole that's deep enough to dive. So let the rain come down and fill the swimming hole until the sun come out. Then we can go swimming. The turtle dove and all his love, dissecting his babies for the mites that dine upon the bloom, removing them just to make room. The lassie cried, although I've tried, the next generation has appointed themselves in control, but tremble, my young things, no more. For we'll never want for a dinner. So let the rain come down swimming